Okay, so let's talk about the market because it has been a little crazy. If you are a seller, you probably feel like you've hit the jackpot. And if you are a buyer, you're probably feeling pretty frustrated right now. The market has been intense. There was an article that went viral a couple weeks ago about a home in Berkeley that sold for $1 million over the list price. I was inundated with emails about that article, and it was just one glimpse into what's happening in our East Bay market. So I wanted to dive into the first quarter statistics, unpack it all a little bit, talk about what's happening, why it's happening, and what the best strategies are if you are a buyer or a seller in our current market. So for the first quarter of 2021, we saw the median sales price jump in the inner East Bay. And actually, you've probably read about it in the news throughout the whole country. Prices are accelerating rather quickly. The median price for our stretch of the East Bay, which goes from Oakland through parts of Richmond, that median price hit $1.1 million for the first quarter. So I just want to pause right there a moment and let that sink in. The typical buyer needs over $1 million to get their foot into our East Bay market. I remember filming one of these videos a year ago, actually after the first quarter of 2020, and the median price hit just right around $885, and I thought that was crazy. That was the highest we had ever seen. So here we are 1 year later, 25% higher than where we were a year ago. What that means is that a home that was selling for $1 million a year ago is selling around $1.25 million. And a home that was selling for $1.5 million a year ago is at $1.875 now. So 25% of a large number is a pretty big increase. So in that same time where median price went up 25%, we saw that homes sold faster and that listings received more offers than we ever had previously. But there's one fact I really want to talk about because I don't know if agents are recognizing it, or if they are, they're not talking about it. In that same period, our median list price went down. So we have the lowest median list price since the first quarter of last year. Prices went up 25%. Why did list price go down? I'm going to talk about that next, but I do want to say that the reason the market is feeling extra crazy right now is because of this big gap between list price and sales price. The reason that a home in Berkeley sold for $1 million over the list price has everything to do with where it was listed. A home in El Cerrito that same week sold for over $1 million over its list price. So that feeling of insanity is partly fueled by the fact that our list price has not kept up with the increase in our median sales price. So why did median list price go down? The first thing I want to say is that we always start the year a little bit uncertain about what the market has in store. So agents do tend to be a little bit more conservative in their valuations and in their list prices in the first quarter of every year as we wait for the market to reveal itself. I like to tell my clients that February is the month that sets the stage for the first half of the year. If prices are booming in February, the market is going to continue through the summer. If prices are down, you're going to see that same trend. It's also true for September. I always look to prices in September to kind of determine what we're going to see through the rest of the year and into early January. So on that note, I want to say that with the craziness of 2020, I don't think the reduction in the median list price was intended to be deceitful or neglectful. I just think agents were being a little conservative and reserved in their pricing. I do want to add that as we transition into the second quarter, you will probably see some agents starting to play with slightly higher list prices to see how the market responds. If higher prices draw lower offers, then we will be stuck in a cycle with really, really low list prices and huge gaps. I hope that's not the case, but that's just something to anticipate in this next quarter. If you're a buyer, how do you deal with this dynamic, right? How do you know what price point to look at? How do you navigate this market? And so I want to say that this is why it's incredibly important that you have an experienced agent that knows the area that you trust. and is also well networked. And the reason I add that last part is because the most telling data is pending sales. If an agent is networked with other good agents throughout the area, they will know what homes are pending for within days of those homes going pending. So as a buyer, you need to not look at list price as much. You need to look to what has sold. You need to look to what is pending. And you really need to form a relationship with your agent so that you can trust their guidance. Trust is going to take you a long way in this market. If you're a seller, well, it's a little easier for you. You want to look at what has sold, what the list price of those sales were, and try and formulate the list price that both makes you the most comfortable, because it can be very uncomfortable to list incredibly low, as well as what will cast the widest net and get you the highest offer. So as we go into the second quarter, I think everyone should keep an eye on median list price. They need to talk less about these crazy overbids, because a lot of them tend to be in line with the comparable sales. They're just not in line with list price. Thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, please reach out. I want to talk about everything real estate. So if I haven't answered something for you, or you have a burning question in the back of your mind, please let us know and we will talk about it.